Alright guys and girls, we got a box here from Tanks Inc. We got some gas tank straps, and this is supposed to be our fuel system to feed our 650 horse big block in our 72 Chevelle. What's going on, guys? So what we have here is a fuel tank for the 72 Chevelle. This fits this particular model from Tanks Inc. This is their cut corner fuel injected ready tank, and we paired this with their, I believe it's the GPA 4 fuel pump, which should supply all the fuel we need for this engine. This fits 70 to 72 Chevelle. Let me get this opened up and on here, and we'll show you what we got. All right, and here's what you get in your box from Tanks Inc. So as I said, this is the cut style tank. So basically those cuts will be in this area here, and that is for you to be able to sneak your exhaust by if you were running it over the axle. We are not. We are going to be running it under the axle, just like the Trans Am, because this is going to be 3-inch piping, and there's not enough room for 3-inch piping over the axle. And you might think that hangs low or whatever, but this is the suspension at full drop right now, full droop. And when this vehicle's on the ground, it hangs no lower than the mufflers do, as you can see. And it's hidden right up there. It actually looks really good. This car sounds badass. I've got to short a few clips back if you want to look through my videos and see. This car, I think, is going to sound more badass. That's a 700 horse LSA with a decent cam. This is a 650 horse 496 with a big old cam, so it's going to sound sick. But you get your tank, your filler neck, your tube to attach your filler neck to the tank, because you have a nipple over here, your mounts or your seals and screws for your fuel pump, which is all over here, that you have to set up for the correct depth for your tank. The only thing it does not come with is your fuel level sender. You have to get that yourself, but it is just your normal 5-volt sender. And on the fuel pump, you can get without fuel pump or with any number of fuel pumps they offer for your application. Like I said, we spec this one out to be able to power what we needed to out of this 496 650 horse engine. And straps. You get straps as well. Also, I forgot, they give you a rollover vent. We usually don't use these, or if we do, they're tucked way up inside. This one, I believe, yeah, still has the factory lines in there for the charcoal stuff. So we will run our breather up into that, because that will be the highest point. So there's no chance of any gas sloshing out of there, unless the vehicle is upside down. And if the vehicle is upside down, you got way bigger problems than your rollover vent. So what I'm going to work on in this video is getting this fuel pump to the right length and everything to fit in this tank. And as I said, this is a fuel injected tank. I don't know how well you can see it pretty good. So this is properly baffled. So you're not going to have any issues like we had issues with the black Camaro at one point, where the Holley fuel mat was basically placed at the passenger side of the tank. Just by design, it's got a Holley in-tank fuel pump module in a factory tank. And with it being placed there, if you were down about a quarter tank and you were hard cornering right, all the tank is sloshing this way away from your pickup, even though it's a, what do they call their Holley fuel mats things there? Whatever, those fuel mats that they swear by. Even though that's there, you still get a little bit of fuel starvation issues. Tanks like this, which are purposely made for EFI, you don't get any of that. Okay, so as Albert Einstein once said, S equals D and P. So D is the total depth of your tank. P is the total height of your fuel pump and sock. And S is going to be what length you need your tube to be that's going to feed in the top of your fuel pump. Don't forget to put your jacket on your fuel pump because they get cold. Alright, so there is the installed height of my fuel pump, and we are at, we'll say, 5 3/16. And the total depth of my fuel tank is, to the top line here, where are we? A 1/16 over 3/4. So what's that? 13/16. So 6 13/16. So let me go do some math. So don't do what I just did. I was correct in measuring my tank depth, but some of you probably caught me being an idiot over here. And I measured to the top of here, which you don't because your hose is going to come all the way down that nipple. So in actuality, I am at 4 3/8. So let me go redo my math because I caught myself right before I made the cut. It was like, oh yeah, let me redo the math and we'll see where I'm at. So my new number is 2 7/16. So from this base plate, I want to measure 2 7/16 down and chop this. Alrighty, so I'm going to give this a little bit of heat with the heat gun just to slide it down over here. And you might be saying, but what about the thickness of the gasket? Well, you have enough on here to make up if you need to move higher or lower with the thickness of the gasket. So we're going to get it on there first and see, and if we need to, we'll adjust it down and then clamp this. You will also at this point be cutting your return line. You want to cut it at about a 45-degree angle like that, as close to the bottom of the pump as possible. Alright, so I had to back that off a little bit. Don't worry about the orientation of this. I'm just fitting it in here. But as you can see, it's just barely floating there. So with that and the gasket that's over here, that's going to set me at my correct height / depth for this fuel pump. Okay, once you get all that figured out, you get your pump oriented. I just like to turn it so that the wires for the positive and negative just have a straight shot here. But you're going to slide those through, and you're also going to take the 2 supplied zip ties they give you and zip tie the return tube to the body. And then we can open up and get into sealing this thing to the tank. Like so. I always just kind of give them a little bend in there so they have a little bit of flex. Not that this is going to flex at all, but you don't want them super tight out there. So you slide them through, you retighten these 2 things, they're all sealed in there. So as you see, you've got an R for return, S for supply, V for vent. We will be using that vent to vent the fuel tank. So this tank, or this vent that comes in the tank, the factory style, is going to stay capped. And that we're going to run up into the factory charcoal thingamajob behind the seat, and that's what's going to have our vent run up. So they give you a seal and enough bolts for both your sender and your fuel pump. So we're just going to put the sender one on there and just hand thread the bolts in until our sender gets here, but we're going to install this one now. So just like normal, just put it on there, seal. You can either put silicone or gasket maker on there, or you can't. Doesn't really matter to me. I like doing it just for the extra bond and making sure that's sealed. So I'm going to skim coat both sides of this, throw it on, put the bolts in. Okay, a little bit of high-tack assembly adhesive on the top and bottom of that. Now I'm going to put this in so that my ports face towards the front of the vehicle. Got a little screwdriver to help me get it through because we have the added thickness of the zip ties now. Let's get it in. Sometimes it takes a little finessing like that. I'm going to get this side in first and then push that in. There we go. And we are in. So let me grab a Phillips and put in my perimeter bolts. Alright, so as far as assembly, we are done here. I'm going to get some fittings in here because we're going to be running out to 8AN lines, supply and return, with a regulator mounted up by the engine. And stupid me, I don't know why we ordered all this stuff from Tanks Inc. Why didn't I just order a level sender from them too? My mind has just been trash the last couple weeks. I've had a lot going on, so that is now ordered. But until that gets here, so we don't have to deal with moving this tank around, we are going to put the tank up in the car. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is put our straps in the rear section of the tank. So you just take your hooked side, slide it up and in there, down through, and you'll see there's a hole through there. I have in my pocket couple of screws you're going to put through there, and that retains them, and that locks those in so that these can't stretch and pull out. And these, I forgot to mention, are actually custom made straps from Tanks Inc. because this tank is 1 inch deeper than stock to get the capacity back that you lose when they chop these edges here. So let me get a screw in that hole and a screw in that hole, and then we'll get the tank up in here, and I've got to grab my hardware for this. I believe this is it 5/16? I think it's 5/16 18 thread, which we're just going to use off-the-shelf hardware for. Now is also where you want to put your anti-squeak straps that you get on here. The top sides will stop it from squeaking against this right here. The bottom sides will stop it from squeaking against this right here. I don't have those, but I don't need those, because let me show you what I like to use. So I have this foam insulation sound deadening that works perfect for this stuff. So I'm just going to cut strips to fit here. I'm going to go down around the bend here, just over it, probably to right about here on both sides, so we'll have no metal-to-metal contact. This stuff lasts forever. I've used it on multiple tanks. What one did we just do? That one? No, we just did it on the black 68 Z28. So let me cut these and get them on there. I'm gonna, because they're also sticky side, so they're not gonna fall off when you move in the tank or whatever. So I'm gonna do straps on the top, or lines on the top, lines on the bottom. Then we're gonna throw this on the transmission jack and put it up in the car. Well, it just took me about 20 minutes to find the transmission jack because it was somewhere it never should be, and it was left all the way up. Always put your hydraulics down. No good reason other than just for the next guy. Alrighty. So we're gonna get this into position. I'm gonna go find my 2 bolts that I'm gonna use for up there. I'm gonna bolt this tank in. All right, here we go. And those are actually 3/8 16 threads, not 5/16. I'm gonna move this forward so I can get my straps behind it. There we go. Try not to scratch up the nice paint on this new tank. And of course my foot pedal is on the complete opposite end of where I need it. There we go. And now we're just gonna pump it up. This is where I gotta kind of manhandle it up and in, because new straps are always super tight at the back end there. Oh, we're just about there. All right. So just gotta bend these back just a tad. Get this in the position I want it to be in, which is right about there. Now, side to side. Make sure that's good. I'll just do the is it pinching my finger method. Right there seems even. All right. So I think, yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna bend those straps forward and bolt this thing in. And there she is, nestled right in. I got it all lined up side to side, so my fuel filler is perfectly straight. It's gonna go right behind the plate like usual. I was surprised they didn't give me any hose clamps for the coupler, and they didn't give me a cap for the end of the pipe. Usually they do, as far as I can remember. But I'm gonna throw a little bit of lube in here so I can push these on and just sit them on here with no clamps for now, because as you saw, the tank will be coming back down so I can put the fuel level sender in it and then get my lines started. But that's it. So now we have a 650 horse capable, baffled, fuel injected tank in the 72 Chevelle to support that 496 big block up there that's gonna be shredding tires through that built 4L80. So stay tuned, stick around, same shit. Got a whole lot more coming on this car. There also is a video up. I put a really cool hidden wiper motor set up on this that removes the wiper motor. If you know all these old GMs, big ugly thing that bolts right to the firewall, hides it inside the cowl, gives you a nice clean block off plate for there, or you can weld and body work and make a completely smooth firewall. But really nice kit. That video is also coming out, so be on the lookout for that. I'll talk to you guys later.